Hello, everyone. This is Jessie with the Mithrin Group at Keller Williams Realty. Welcome to another moment with your community compass. Today, I want to introduce you to Andrew Rummel. He is a student at UVA, majoring in economics. And I met Andrew because of his parents, who are one of my neighbors. And his mom was describing to me what Andrew was going to do. And I thought to myself, boy, here's a young man who actually wants to literally put his feet behind his words, and do something that is that many of us may think about, but certainly would not want to take on the challenge, especially to take on the challenge um, for the benefit of somebody else. So Drew just ran the New York Marathon, 26.2 miles. Absolutely nuts in my mind, but he did it for a cause, and he did it with a passion. And that's what motivated me to want to introduce him to you, the audience today. And Drew, tell me about you and tell me what would possess somebody to run 26.2 miles.
Yeah, so thank you again for having me on this. Really excited to talk about my marathon and more importantly the causes that I'm running behind it. But so overall, I ran the 26.2 marathons throughout New York, raising money for Opportunity International, which is an international organization that supports different people and pulling them out of poverty. And
Mhm.
specifically, the money is going towards a specific women's group in Malawi, and trying to really support them holistically. Most of these women are raising, their entire family, trying to raise, their kids, their livestock with only, 50 cents a day. So they are the most marginalized people, overlooked by their government, by their communities, miles and miles away on a dirt road somewhere. So to be able to, run those miles that I only have to do it once. I only had to run the 26, 0.2 miles and finish that marathon once. They have to do that every day. So something that was throughout my life, kind of how do you give back? And this was something that was brought upon me while I spent some time in Malawi, and I thought, why not? I have to do this, and was called to try to finish this great challenge.
That story is amazing in itself, because you as a young man having such a call to want to give back is very unique in our society, and I applaud you for that, because that's not a calling I see many individuals your age having. It's more of a calling of, you know, what can the world do for me rather than what can I do for the world. So I really do applaud you for that. How did you end up in Malawi?
Yeah, so it's a funny and long story. I mean, started off growing up. My parents loved showing me the world and also teaching me how to give back to the communities that I see and that I've experienced. So it started off, locally as a Boy Scout. How do you give back to your local community? But as I began to see different parts of the world, especially when my parents brought me to Africa, maybe 7 years ago now, I vividly remember visiting a village and seeing how they lived and how different, it looked, but at the same time talking to the different kids and being able to joke about sports and how much more they knew about, my favorite Arsenal team. That was something that stuck with me, and I'll still remember, kind of changed the course of my life, and came to UVA really interested in initially how do make as much money and give it back at the end, but slowly realized I can do that at a young age, and found an opportunity two summers ago to spend the summer in Tanzania, working with a social innovation center, where I met some great, fantastic individuals. Most and all of them were Tanzanian engineers. Met one, and we partnered and started a small business there, and just continued to try to find ways to go back to East Africa and continue to find other ways to create an impact, which ultimately I was in contact with Opportunity International, where they provided me the incredible opportunity to go to Malawi and conduct a lot of field research. They put me into the field. They said, "Hey, here's a driver. Look at different things that you're interested in. How what types of businesses are most successful." And these aren't just businesses we see in the U.S. These are
Mm,
small grocery shops that have, they're making $500 every 3 months. And they're, very small, or they're a small restaurant that, has a profit margin of $5 a day. Like these are not, really high end businesses that we think of. But to have those conversations and hear what the support that Opportunity provided them, the holistic approach of providing education, the financing, and the community aspect was life changing for these women. And while I was in the field, I got a message from Opportunity back in Chicago, and they said, "Hey, would you want to run the marathon?" And I said, "Why not?" So as I said earlier, they do this every day. They have to go through the dirt roads and, travel miles and miles and miles just to get food or to sell, a few snacks or sodas at the local market. You know, I can do this with the full medical and, Gatorade and all those fun things to support me along the way. So it's been a fantastic experience. I've probably gotten more out of it than I've tried to give back. But yeah, it's been an incredible journey, and hope to see it move on forward.
describe for me a day in the life of a Malawi woman.
Yeah, so they wake up in their house, which if they're lucky, best case scenario in one of these villages, they have a dirt and mud, maybe some sort of brick house that's not much more than maybe a normal bedroom that we may have.
Mhm.
Hopefully, it has a tin roof, but many of the women that we're supporting had a straw roof. They would go, wake up their children, help make maybe make a breakfast, or depending how many meals they have a day. Maybe it's 1 to 2, but normally not more than that. And that's just it's like a cornmeal paste called enzima, which is the traditional food. They'll go, tend, maybe support their husband on the farm, and then hopefully through the support of Opportunity, either go to their business and give them that economic support mechanism that they can create an income, send their kids to school, continue to build on their house to make it more stable, or rebuild it, especially because there was a big hurricane that came in the past year and kind of
Yeah.
destroyed a lot of homes, which was a great setback for a lot of these families. And then just continue to do that every day, whether they got to go to the market because there's a market day every Tuesday or something, and go either sell some of their produce or buy some for their family. But yeah, it's a long and resilient process that they continue have to go through every day. It doesn't matter, because if they decide to sleep in, or not get up that day, then their family may not eat, and not only for that day, but for a long time if they don't get up and continue to work on the things that they have to do. So yeah, the resilience and the endurance that these women have is just something that was very emotional to see. They come from backgrounds I hard to even imagine after talking with them for spending time, hours with them, but something, however you can help 10%, 1% even, is something that I'm very grateful to have been a part of, and try to help in the best that I can at that time.
What is their reaction to you being there?
Yeah, it was quite beautiful. So every time I came into a different village, especially when I saw a big group of women, there'd be a lot of singing and community and welcoming. That's something, especially like the local women's groups that support the financing. They all have different songs, and they wear the same dresses, and it's quite a beautiful thing to be welcomed into those groups. And as a college kid, you have to sit there and tell yourself, hey, you're only a college kid, but they do see it's hope, that people do care about them, that the organization sends their field officers and their different support systems to them, but to have people for them to have someone come for the United States and say, hey, I want to meet with you, I want to talk with you and hear your story. I mean, who doesn't want to have someone fly across the world, and talk to you? So it was very empowering to see the impacts that I had on their lives, but equally, and probably even greater, the impacts that they gave to me. So
It
yeah, it
does
was,
always come back tenfold, and
yeah.
I believe anything you do in terms of service always does come back tenfold, especially if you do it with the kind of heart that you carry around, and that giving and nurturing heart comes back in abundance for sure. So, Andrew, what is the goal? You graduate soon.
Mhm.
And you are part of an organization, Opportunities International. What is their goal and what is your goal?
Yeah, so I was very fortunate to not only intern with them this past summer, but also to run the marathon and support them, even after my internship was over. But yeah, their mission, summed up, is to really find ways to pull people out of poverty. And the greatest way to do that is provide them sources of income, and help them create small businesses, help them, learn how to farm better, how to make their households more efficient. How do you deal with a man and a woman in a household, and deal with those, conflicts. Um, and it's a variety of different tasks, but at the end of the day, they want to be able to help people find and give hope to either just raise a few cents at a time, more and more, over a period, so they can create that economic community growth, which is something I'm very passionate about. I love, the cultures, and the different people within, especially East Africa, as I've spent 2 summers really getting to know as many people, and living with and laughing with them. So it's been an incredible opportunity there, but to find ways and use my passions and knowledge in economics and business and those sort of things, and try to combine it, in whatever way. It's still an unknown path for me moving forward, but it's an exciting point where there are so many options. It's just seeing which calls me next.
Mhm. That is quite a calling, though, and it's nice to see you're listening, because many don't. That's not an easy environment to go into, especially after the luxuries of the States. Here we're talking basic needs, food,
Mhm.
employment. We take a lot for granted in this nation, and this is definitely quite a calling that you have. So I look forward to seeing that. We at the Mithrin Group will be very happy to support you. And I have your link, which we will be passing on to everybody else. And I'm hoping that other people will see the call that you have felt, and feel a passion to give in this way. Not everybody can go to do what you're doing, but definitely everybody can get together behind you and support what you're doing, so that somebody can move forward, and the rest of us can support, and that's the person going forward has a bigger task than the person who's actually supporting, if you really think about it. So I hope many people see and do that for you. And I look forward to your mom's posts and seeing what you're achieving over there, and as you move forward, the call, and how it expands beyond just this, and what impact not only will it have on your life, but the impact you're going to have on the lives of so many people around you. So, Andrew, thank you so much. I so appreciate your
Thank you.
time, and I appreciate getting to know you. I especially appreciate getting to know your parents. They are very, very sweet people, and I can tell that they raised a fine young man. So hats off to them and hats off to you for that. So Drew, thank you again for being on Your Community Compass. We will go ahead and share your link and let it be known of your needs. I think you mentioned that you are at 6,000, you want to get to 10,000. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
So let's get Drew to 10,000. It's not that hard a task. So let's get Drew to 10,000 and help him take that and use it as a resource to help those people that he sees in need, who are looking for just the basics, and make that possible for him. So this is Jesse with the Mithrin Group. If you are interested in being interviewed or know of a small business that could benefit from the exposure, please reach out. I was there, so I understand, and nice people know nice people. And meanwhile, if you're looking to sell or invest or buy real estate, please again reach out for our consult. We would be happy to sit down with you and let you know if we can help in any way. And again, pleasure to meet you, Drew.
Thank you.
I look forward to seeing you home after your classes and seeing the pages turn in your future.
Thank you so much. Yeah, greatly appreciate all of it.
Absolutely.